My favorite vice is alcohol. To be more specific, beer. The unhealthy relationship that I had with beer could be compared to being in love. I loved beer, and I was never one to discriminate. I loved dark beer, light beer, IPAs, malt liquor, Mexican beer, Jamaican beer, American beer. I loved it all. Beer wasn't my side piece, she was my main. She was my queen, and I was in love. And when you're in love, especially at the beginning, you're infatuated with them. They're the first thing that you think about in the morning when you open your eyes, and the last thing that you think about when you close them at night. You dream about them. While you're at work or school, you can't wait to have a break so that you could send them a text or give them a quick call. You just want them to know that you're thinking about them. They're constantly on your mind. They consume your entire day. All you want to do is spend as much time with them as possible. They're the only thing that matters. And this is what addiction is like. Alcohol was my life, and she never let me down. She knew how to calm my nerves when I was feeling uneasy. She had the gift of being able to make me smile when I was feeling down. She helped loosen me up when I was having social anxiety, and she was always down for a good time. She was my ride or die. She filled my cup when I was feeling empty. I put her first. She was everything to me. I loved her more than I could ever express using words. I was obsessed. My obsession with her stunted my growth as a man. I consumed so much of her that I couldn't do simple tasks like drive or fill out job applications. I wasn't able to handle my duties as a man, and it was pathetic. Something had to give, and I knew it was time to let her go. We had to break up, and I became overpowered with depression. It's crazy because it's not like I was breaking up with her because I didn't like her or enjoy her company anymore. I was breaking up with her because I loved her too much. I loved her so much that we became toxic. And how can we not be? By the nature of the relationship, it was going to be toxic. After all, alcohol is a poison. Even though the love of my life was toxic, what really fucked with my mind was that she wasn't the problem. I was. I was the abuser in the relationship. You can't be abused by alcohol. Only you can abuse it. Nobody can prepare you for the challenges that you're going to face once you commit to sobriety, aka the breakup. It can't be articulated how lonely you're going to feel. You've ditched your partner in crime, and now you're playing this game of life as a solo player. There were people in my life who supported me, and still do, but they were unable to identify with my situation. There was no empathy, only sympathy. There were unbearable bouts of loneliness over the last 8 years. Who are you supposed to talk to when the people around you can't relate? It feels as though you only have yourself. I guess this is why people go to AA meetings, because they need support. I had a hard time wrapping my head around the idea of sharing my weaknesses to a bunch of strangers. I understand that we would have all been in the same boat, but I had an overwhelming feeling that being around others with an addiction problem would have made it easier for me to have a relapse. I know that may seem stupid, but this is what I told myself. It's almost like I wanted to live a life on hard mode. I needed to feel the consequences of my actions, and that I did. To this day, 8 years later, I'm still feeling the effects of my shortcomings that happened so long ago. I could be driving to work or in the shower, maybe eating some breakfast, and something that I said or did 15 years ago will randomly pop into my head, and I immediately feel embarrassment and shame. There's nothing that I can do about it now, but that doesn't take the pain away. There have been countless times over the years where I've wanted to call an old friend just to apologize to them for me being such a dumbass in the past. But what's the point? They've moved on with their life, and I've already lost them as a friend. What can I possibly have to offer someone that I haven't spoken to in so long? What value can I bring to their life? I hurt way too many people during my long stint with alcoholism. I drank beer every single day for 2 decades. My brain was in a constant fog. I couldn't think clearly. When you're an alcoholic, it's hard to comprehend what you're doing is completely selfish. Nobody likes a selfish person, and the people who love and care about you will only tolerate it for so long. At some point, people get tired of your shit. It damages relationships, and people end up losing all respect for you. And once the respect is gone, it's nearly impossible to mend that relationship back together. I speak from experience. I lost my wife because of this. We separated a few years after I had already sobered up, but there was no recovering from the damage that was done in the past. I could not earn her respect back, and because of this, she wasn't able to see a future with me. And how could she? As I said earlier, the overuse of alcohol stunted my growth as a man. I started drinking heavily during my teenage years, and because of this, I was a 35-year-old teenage boy. She needed a man, not a child. It took me several years of sobriety before I was able to be the one who was in complete control of my life. Unfortunately, it was too late. I had lost my family, the one thing outside of drinking that I actually cared about. At this point, what was to stop me from going back to drinking? The amount of times that I asked myself this question is astounding. The answer is actually quite simple: death. Deep down, I knew that if I started drinking again, I would have drank myself into an early grave. I have no doubt in my mind that I would be burning in hell right now if I would have picked up where I left off with my alcohol abuse. I couldn't stand the idea of my 3 beautiful children living a life without their father. I may not be the best dad, but I'm certainly not the worst. I would rather my kids see that I have demons to deal with than to have them see me buried in dirt. Something greater than myself didn't allow this to happen. I was given strength and reason when I felt so weak and lost. Come to find out, I didn't do this alone. Thank you, God. Now here I am, 2,920 days sober, and I'm more of a man today than I ever have been. I've put a lot of work into myself and into my relationships. I am no longer that little boy who was afraid to take on the hardships that we're supposed to face in life. I have confidence. I'm stronger than ever. I work out, I eat right, and I sleep well. I have rebuilt relationships with the people who matter the most. Thank you to my children who have never judged me and who pushed me to make this video. I love all of you more than you could ever imagine. Thank you to my parents who have always loved me no matter where I was in my life. You have no idea how much I needed that. Thank you to my ex-wife who put up with my shit more than anyone else. You're a great mom, a beautiful person, and I'm proud to call you my best friend. And thank you, God, for never giving up on me. To anyone who has made it this far, thank you as well. There's quite a bit more to this story, but I cut a lot out for the sake of time. The struggle is still very real. If you'd like to hear more, leave a comment below. I'm out.